July is absolutely packed with all kinds of hype drops. I'm talking 3 different Jordan collaborations, an Olympic Jordan, one of the most iconic grails of sneaker collecting of all time, and so much more. Today, I'll be going over all of the best sneaker releases in July, along with their release information and resale predictions. But not only do we have tons of great sneaker releases, we also have 2 surprise drops set for July. As always, the early info will be posted inside of Endurance. For free notifications and release guides, you could join the free Discord with the link in the description, where you could also get free Chick-fil-A meals there too. And when you're ready to take your game to the next level, like with early info on these shock drops and more beyond sneaker reselling, like stock investing, sports betting promotion exploits, Amazon FBA, price glitches, and more, you could also check out Endurance on that same link below or by scanning the QR code on the screen. First, on July 1st, for $130, we're getting the Ja 1 Reverse Scratch. And this is an interesting one because even though Ja's have been bricking as of lately, almost all of the last colorways have been bricks, the original Ja Scratch colorway actually performed very well. They're quite limited at around 5,000 pairs, so I think some of that demand could carry over, and assuming these are also limited, which we won't know until a little bit closer to the drop, then I think these might have some lunch money potential in sizes 11 and above, and potentially even better than that. Nothing crazy, but I do think some of the demand could carry over for these, especially if they're limited. Of course, we'll post the stock numbers in Endurance. Then on July 3rd, for only $150, we got the Nigel Sylvester Jordan 4 RM Fence Green. Now, we've seen Nigel Sylvester collaborations before, and they always seem to have pretty good demand. It already does seem like these have pretty good demand building up, and I'm not surprised. I wouldn't expect these to perform as well as the Jordan 1s did, because a lot of people probably aren't a huge fan of the Jordan 4 RM model, but it's definitely not the worst model, and most importantly, the retail is pretty low at just $150, and I think that does leave plenty of room for profit on these, with potentially a good margin, especially in those larger sizes 10 and above. So while I'm not expecting anything crazy like the Jordan 1s, I do think this is a good opportunity nonetheless. Also on July 3rd, for a whopping $285, we got the Nike Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next Percent 3 FP Blueprint Pack. Now, this pair looks very close to the Alpha Fly Next Percent 3 prototype, that of which was really hyped up, but when it comes to this pair, it is not the same one. Although because it looks like it might carry over a little bit of the demand, I think they'll perform better than what we've seen on most Alpha Fly Next Percents. But will it be enough to profit off of them after seller fees and tax? Probably not, but if you do sell these early, like you could pre-sell them on eBay to people who aren't really too into the sneaker market, you might actually be able to make a little bit of profit off of some of the larger sizes, so it's worth looking out for, especially because Nike has free returns. Then on July 6th for the Nike release, but actually June 29th for the Opium Paris release, we got another Jordan collaboration that is with Opium Paris and the Jordan Airship. They're dropping for $150. Unfortunately, the Jordan Airship model doesn't really get a lot of demand. We've seen collaborations with other retailers like A Ma Maniere before, and while the original blue pair did well, the other colorways didn't do too well, and I'd expect that to more likely be the fate for these. Unless they're very limited, they're probably just going to end up being personals, or at best maybe brick profit potential in the very large sizes 11 and above. Luckily, the Nike release is after the other release, so we'll be able to gauge if they do sell out, and we'll be able to see what demand is looking like afterwards, and Nike does have free returns. Also on July 6th for $180, we're getting the Jordan 1 High Women's First in Flight. Unfortunately, these are already around retail in the secondary market, so of course these are just going to be personals. Then on July 12th for $130, we're getting another Nike Sabrina 2, this time the Conductor colorway. Unfortunately, most of these colorways recently have been bricks, and I wouldn't really expect this one to be any different, so personals only. Then on July 18th for $250 each, we got another Jordan collaboration. This time it's another Jordan 3 A Ma Maniere collaboration. I think all of us could agree that the first A Ma Maniere Jordan 3 was absolutely incredible, and now we got 2 more colorways of these, this time the Burgundy Crush and also the black pair. This Burgundy Crush colorway you're seeing right now is just a mock-up, but they should be pretty similar given that the color scheme is Summit White, Burgundy Crush Deep, Pewter Muslin, and despite the retail being so high at $250, at least when it comes to their Nike release with free shipping, I do think large sizes for these should be profitable, but not really with a good margin. I'd say probably more towards a poor margin, especially if you do have tax in your state. And when it comes to the A Ma Maniere release, where you are going to have to pay for shipping, that's of course going to eat into your potential profit. So there, you might want to only stick to those very large sizes, especially if you have tax. Even if you do have tax, maybe only one of these colorways, possibly the burgundy crush pair, might be profitable. Even then, I'm not 100% as of right now. We'll see as we get closer to the release. I can see these settling for somewhere over $300, but obviously depending on your tax and shipping, that could really kill your profit. Then on July 19th, for $200, we're getting the WNBA Jordan 3 Desert Camo. Unfortunately, these are already pretty close to retail in the secondary market, and I'm not surprised. Most Jordan 3s, aside from classic colorways, have been bricking, and I'm expecting the same fate for these, unfortunately, so personals only. Then on July 20th, for $140, we're getting the Jordan 1 Low Barons. Unfortunately, like all Jordan 1 Lows, I would expect these to just be personals, even though this is a really solid colorway. Then on July 27th, for $225, we're getting the Jordan 4 SE Paris Olympics. Now, normally, Jordan Olympic pairs are actually a pretty big deal. While not all of them were extremely profitable when they first dropped, like the Jordan 6 Olympics wasn't really profitable, I think this Jordan 4 is going to be a much bigger deal. The Jordan 4 model in general tends to have a lot more demand. Not only that, but the colorway is really universal, and we got some unique materials on them too. As of now, demand is looking pretty decent considering we're pretty far out, so pretty optimistic about these, even though retail's a little high at $225. I'm expecting these to be profitable with a decent to good margin, especially in the large sizes 10 and above, so very optimistic about these, and I definitely need a personal. Then on July 30th, for $210, the Jordan 3 Wings is going to be dropping. Each year, Jordan Brand expands its Wings for the Future program, also known as the Jordan Wings Scholarship Program, so it's for a good cause, but unfortunately, I would still have to say these are just going to be personals, and you might even be able to get them for below retail if you're patient. Then sometime in July, but without a release date set as of right now, for $150, we are going to be getting the KD4 Nerf. Now, it might not look like it to some of you newer collectors, but for those of you who've been in the game for as long as I have at least, you know that this sneaker is a really big deal. In fact, it's a grail for many Nike basketball sneaker collectors, including myself. So really excited to finally be able to get this pair in my hands again. Very similar to what we saw on the KD4 Weatherman and the KD4 Galaxy. Super hyped to finally have a chance to get these in my collection. I know a lot of you older collectors feel exactly the same way. Now, in terms of resale, I would expect these to perform better than what we saw on the Weatherman. I'd say it's probably going to be closer to what we saw on the Galaxy KD4s. So all the large sizes should be profitable with a decent to good margin, and some of these smaller sizes are mostly going to be personals, where at best maybe they'll be brick profit if you have no tax, but overall it's a good release to look forward to. Now, while that's going to conclude it for now, we do still have some more releases to come, and I'll keep you guys updated with those throughout the month. As always, sometimes it seems like the best releases really do pop up throughout the month, so we'll see as we get into that. Make sure you subscribe and enable post notifications to make sure you don't miss out on any of that, and for completely free guides and urgent notifications like for shock drops, definitely join the free Discord with the link below or by scanning the QR code on the screen. And you could also get free Chick-fil-A meals there too. This way you could get a little bit of a taste of what Endurance offers outside of just sneaker reselling, because we're trying to save and make you guys money in various ways outside of just reselling, like stock investing, Amazon FBA, methods to save on food, and so much more. So check it out if you do have a chance. Other than that though, have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on all these releases.